starts but never sails, so we're gonna see. He can't keep up now.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the first recording for the new year. Hope you guys have a good holiday. So this is just a quick video about our kayak sailing project. For those you are actually the first time watching this video or this channel, our channel is all about bringing sailing experience to you without having to chip out a lot of money on mooring costs and owning a sailboat and owning a dinghy. I understand it's actually a struggle to actually keep all these big hulls, and you have to maintain the kit, and it is I believe it's actually the main reason why put off this idea of experiencing or learning how to sail for many people. So we are trying to make it easy for everyone to sail. The kit that we are using, I'm using now, is actually an Itiwit 2-seater kayak from Decathlon. It's inexpensive, it's inflatable, but it sails because we made it sail. So it's a good way to learn how to sail before you even commit for a bigger craft. So I've done a few improvements over the holidays, and in between the last video and this video, I've been working on something else as well. We have something in store. In the new year, we're gonna test a bigger craft. I won't explain further. It's just a teaser. It's actually a bigger craft that can actually accommodate 2 person, and it sails, and it stores in a bag, can fit in a car. So you don't need to have a big garage, or you don't need to have a big piece of land to save a dinghy finally. So there you have it. We have something in store, but not yet. So this video is all about we have a request from one of our viewers on YouTube, our channel, for one of the videos about how to actually make a transom, a simple transom for our Itiwit 2. This is how I made it. This is new. So a transom is actually basically a steering system for the craft, for the kayak, so that you can point your craft to whichever direction you want when you're sailing. So previously we have used this same concept. This is the rudder. This is the, I would call this the headstock. This is what they call it, the headstock. And this is basically what you use to mount on the craft. So we don't have a mounting point because the Itiwit 2 or Itiwit kayak in general is actually inflatable. So there's no mounting points. There's no hard body for you to mount there's no transom to mount your rudder onto the craft. So we have to make one of these. Previously, on previous videos, I think you've seen this is the third version, by the way. The first version was using a UPVC gutter part, but it wasn't working very well because it started to wobble sideways. So I used that for like 2-3 sails, for the first few sails to try, and then it sort of failed, and I got rid of it. Well, it's somewhere in my store somewhere. And then the second one, I used a builder's bucket, which is about 20 liters builder's bucket, and then I chop it up, stitch it up with copper wire, and then heat seamed it with a wood burner, with a wood like soldering iron to seam the plastic. It's like plastic welding basically. Then I came up with this new idea. This is also using a gutter part. We're gonna do a close-up video after this. This is also a gutter part that I've trimmed it in pieces, in sections, so that we can hit the corners, the sides, and it folds to hug the back of the inflatable kayak. And these are the harnesses that you use to tie up to the kayak's original seat mounts or the transom mounts, what you call it, the skeg mounts underneath the kayak. You can mount with whichever way that's convenient for you. So yeah, so far I haven't mounted this yet on the kayak. I've tried it on for like 5 minutes just to have a look how it looked like on land, but I haven't tested on water yet. But only time will tell when the season starts again for us to go sailing. We will try it again, and I'll definitely record a video and give you a good review of what works. So let's dive into the details. So this is the complete transom kit that I've made recently, right? So you have the gutter bit, the headstock, and the rudder. So if I lift this up, remove this pin, we can split the whole section into 3 pieces. One of the most important bit is here. If you look closely, this is the gutter bit. This is a gutter, a UPVC gutter or PVC gutter. Now, to get it to form into this shape, what I did was, just imagine that this piece of cardboard, this is a piece of cardboard that I got from the recycle bin. So you have a piece of cardboard or gutter like this, the profile. What you do is turn it sideways and cut a notch in the middle. It needs a little bit of measuring. It depends on what type of gutter you're using and what dimensions you have that you can source locally. So what I did was, if you look at the gutter sideways, it has a notch like that. What you have to do is you have to hit this bit, and bend it to shape like that. One side, one at a time. Hit the other one and bend it again. Now you have a V shape that looks exactly like this. Now with this, you make all the holes, the guide holes for the webbing, and then you make another 4 holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, for the pintle and gudgeon. So this pintle and gudgeon, if you look closely, is actually a door bolt. Door bolt, what you would use on a door in a house or a cabinet or a cupboard. It's the same stuff. This is the body of the bolt that I cut it into a small profile, about 10 millimeters wide. Cut it, make 2 holes on both sides, and then drive a bolt and nut through the transom. If you can see this in there, and I've improvised this design by using a riser pad or riser block. You can use plastic. This was an old chopping board that we had. We haven't had any use for it, so I just chop it in pieces. It's hard. It's also easy to work with, and it doesn't corrode, so it doesn't rot basically. These nuts, what I did was I even used a dab of Loctite thread locker to stop the nuts from coming off. Well, it's no fun when you're sailing. Suddenly, it just, because of vibrations or flex to the craft, that your these nuts just fall off, and then it just kills the fun for the day. So might as well, I like to use this Loctite thread locker. It's thread locker normal or thread locker blue. If you don't have this, or you don't want to spend extra money for this, you can also use a dab of silicone, one of those silicone guns or one of those squeeze like toothpaste tube. Just dab a little bit on the threads when you're doing it up, so that it just don't undo itself while you're sailing. So you have this section done. The next one is this bit here, the headstock. If you have seen Lego technique before, this is the same concept, the same style of a material that I use. This is actually a metal plate. I got it from somewhere. I can't remember. It was a window part or something, that I make holes in it to have all these 4 bolts running through. This bit here, I believe, is the most crucial bit in the whole engineering process, because how do you connect from here, from the transom to the headstock? It took me a while to figure this out. So I had a square tube like this, square pipe. I got this from a golf trolley from the recycle center. That is like that. I make 2 holes on the side to make this bolt and nut go through to hold it to this frame. Then I make another another hole for this door bolt. It corresponds to the size of this door bolt, the diameter of this door bolt. So that goes through. Why do I use this door bolt? Because it's smooth, it's stainless steel, it doesn't corrode, and it allows this whole mechanism to float freely. So same goes to the bottom bit. So I have 2 pieces, one on the top and one on the bottom, like that. Okay. And then this is how we join it. This bolt goes through. I like to have this knob on the inside so that it won't rub on the plastic transom. This is the tiller arm, basically what you hold on to. We'll go to that in a bit. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts. 2 of them I'm using nuts because that's a permanent joint. I don't change that. Don't have any variables to that. Both of them are thread locked. 2 of these I make it into a something that you can adjust with a wing nut. This wing nut controls the angle of the rudder if I need to make it tighter or more loose, or even to replace the whole rudder with a different rudder if I have one, like a spare. And I have this bit here hanging here. It's like a pin. See, this is what happens when I use something non-corrosive. This is not stainless steel, it's just chrome metal. I got it from a furniture part somewhere. So this is used to lock in the rudder in place. Because wood is less dense than water, it just floats, it just swings upwards. So you get less effective maneuverability from the rudder itself. So I put this in place. Through the frame there's a hole that goes through, like that. Either locks in and works like that, or it can also be an isolating pin to raise the rudder, put the pin in, and it will just float like that. So when you're on the beach, it's safe to say that your rudder is not gonna be dragging on the sand or on the rocks, or even worse, if you get caught somewhere and it twists off your plastic bits, that breaks your transom. So it's to avoid damages. For this webbing here, I use polypropylene rope like this. This is 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters. You can get something smaller like 4 millimeters. As long as it's over 100 kilos in strength, breaking strength, that should be more than enough for you to make this webbing. So you have the bottom webbing for under the kayak, top webbing for over the handles of the back of the kayak. This rope that goes forward, this is going to the seat mounts on the kayak itself. So it's a non-invasive way to do it. This pulley, I bought it stainless steel. This is going to the main sheet of the kayak, main sheet of the sail, so that the roller gives the ropes to flow freely as you are trimming the main sheet. It's just secured by same polypropylene ropes that is mounted on the side, so that it's clear of the swing of your tiller. And this tiller is made out of a fishing rod combined with a golf stick. The golf stick, I've cut off the head of the golf stick. I put in I think it was a washing machine pipe that I found somewhere in the storage. Just cut it, sleeve it onto the golf stick. It should be just about the right size, washing machine hose and the golf stick. And then I dab some glue inside, make a small hole in the end, about I think it's M6 or M5, so that this is like a flexible joint, so it won't snap, but it still swings. And make another hole on the other piece, which is a fishing rod. This fishing rod is slightly smaller than this aluminum tube, so it goes through like that. And there are holes on the side. So coincidentally, there was a hole already made by the manufacturer of the crutches. So all I have to do is get a piece of a bolt to just hold it in place, or make another pin like this pin to go in there, and that will hold it in place so that while you're steering, it won't just pull out. So this is what I was trying to explain about why we don't use corrosive bits and pieces for the design. This was the builder's bucket I was mentioning about earlier. The builder's bucket failed after I got hit by a big wave that pushed the whole kayak onto the beach, and the rudder got stuck in the sand and it just twisted off the whole bucket off. So it was all rusted. Look at that. So don't use anything that rots or rust. Rots like wood, or rust like metal, like not stainless steel metal, like ferrous metal. So these are like stainless steel screws. I only buy after I've already made sure that my design works, so that we don't waste. We have so many sizes. Most of them are M5, which is 5mm diameter, times how long you want. You can have it a little bit longer. It's okay to have it longer than shorter. Buy a little bit longer, and if it's too long, just cut it off with a hacksaw or grinder if you have access to a grinder. Also washers, don't forget washers. You need stainless steel washers as well. It's really rewarding to know that when you build something, it lasts, and it can go for 10-20 trips and it won't break. And you can be proud of it, that you made it last. So if you don't have a square tube, like we mentioned earlier, you can also use a copper pipe. This is a water pipe. It's almost the same size, same concept, you can do the same thing. I guess that's about it. Now you know how to make your own rudder transom. On the next episode, probably we'll be filming another video in spring or summer when the weather warms up a little bit more and the water's calmer. We have a new project coming up. We have a inflatable sailboat that fits two person, and it sails. It's great. Subscribe and leave your comments so that I know what you are thinking about doing, or you like to know more, you like to learn more. Let's grow this community of inflatable sailing boats or kayaks community so that we can all do the same thing that we love, sailing. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Sunny day, but it's not very warm. It's about 15 degrees. It's a little bit chilly, but yeah, we're making progress. I've recut this sail. Looks like it's working. It's really good. Again. We have about 9-10 knots of wind, and we are doing probably about, not too fast, it's about 4 knots at most, 3 knots, 4 knots upwind, which is not too bad for a kayak. Hey, the walking stick, look at that, it's convenient.